Hello, this is Richard Walker, coming to you from the back 40 of the Crack House. That's spelled C-R-A-I-C. And we are, let's see, it is 10 a.m. on, I believe it's Wednesday the 7th of September 2000. Let's see, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's about right. Anyway, I'm in the process of readjusting the water barrels, picking up all the flower pots and things that I've left strewn in the backyard, carrying them around in a wheelbarrow to the front, pruning the roses so they don't whip themselves to death. And I'm a little bit flummoxed about the orchids because they need to be in the rain and that sort of thing, but I don't want them blowing away and making a mess in somebody else's yards. And there's all these sticks. The kids next door threw all these fishing rod sticks like arrows into my yard, so I don't necessarily want to throw them back, but they might create a missile and hurt somebody. A fishing rod at 150 miles an hour could be a deadly weapon. Anyway, it's I got up at 4 this morning to get out before the heat. Well, it's going to be in the mid 80s today because of the cloud cover. It has rained once today, but that has nothing to do with the Hurricane Irma. Speaking of which, Hurricane Irma's arrival has paralleled our Judy and my planned super vacation, 14 days to France. Well, call the airlines and they can't give you any indication whether they'll cancel or not, and they'll, since they only it's Iceland Air, and since they only fly out of here on Mondays and Thursdays, said they'll put us on the next available flight. Well, criminy, I mean, it could be Thursday, could be the following Monday, it could be the Thursday after we get back. How they handle that? Well, they couldn't tell me if they would extend my return flight or not. So we're in a real quandary, and grandson, who's supposed to keep the dog, is facing the same hurricane we are, and is the whole state. So we have no clue. We're not in what I call a flood-prone area. We're not in a 100-year flood or a 500-year flood. We're not in a C zone, which is a depression. We have good drainage, even though we're at the bottom or midway down the slope. Our retention ponds seem to work quite well. There's very little overflow, if any. So if the worst that could happen that I could see is the wind tearing off shingles and tar paper and whatnot, and letting some water into the house. So we have a concern that if we fly out on Monday and the storm hits, we will have 2 weeks of foul weather coming into our house before we can do anything about it. That is, if we get to go. So we are quite in a quandary. So right now our plan is to clean up the yard and make sure we don't supply any missiles to the neighborhood. Pray that the Hurricane Irma drops down to at least a Category 3. We will decide probably on Friday, depending on the location of the storm, whether we will head north to Tallahassee to stay with son Wesley for a couple days, and then if indeed the hurricane allows us to fly out, we can fly back. We can drive back within 4 hours, and so we're packing as if we're going to France, but we're going to Tallahassee and possibly driving back. But then if we leave town, we have to get back in time to deposit our puppy to grandson. Now, that sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Well, right now I'm soaked with perspiration and a little fatigued, and that's why I'm taking time to send you this message. Okay, well, here we go. Have fun, and pray that the hurricane dies at sea. Richard Walker from the Crack House saying adios.